Hi gorgeous people. So today we're going to be talking about seriation. Now this is another Archaeology 101 lesson. So just the basics of what archaeology is and how we go about understanding and dating the material that we find in archaeology. So what is seriation? Now I've occasionally referred to it as seriology in the past, which I don't know why I keep doing that, but I do. But it's called seriation. Basically it's using a series of artifacts to try and date something. Now, the easiest way we can probably understand this is to say, look at, say, modern technology. So, in the way we would go, oh, so, when you had, say, old rotary phones, the old ones with the dials for those people who, are a little bit behind. So, the old rotary phones were replaced by your digital home phone where you had the buttons but it was still attached to a wall. Then you had the cordless phones, and then you had things like mobiles, iPhones, etc., etc. iPhone 1 to iPhone whatever we're up to now, right? So we have this sort of series of how a technology progresses over time. And if we're looking at the archaeological data, if we were to look at a site and go, oh, it's old rotary phones, you'd go, well, okay, that has to date to a certain period because no one at this point has new phones. Or alternatively, they haven't upgraded to the new technology yet. But if you see a collection where there's some rotary phones and some of the cordless phones and maybe an iPhone, you're going to go, okay, A, it's going to date some things. First off, the iPhone will date the youngest possible date of the site based on the fact that the iPhone comes out at a certain time, so you can't have it from before that. But it will also say, okay, it's probably going to be earlier in the range of when the iPhone was popular because the use of the old phones was still happening. So people were still using the old phones while having some of this newer technology, but the newer technology hasn't taken over. So that's what we see happening in the archaeological record. We can see types of pottery as we go through time changing, and you might still have some of the older pottery occurring at the same time as newer pottery. But the ratios in which we have these technologies and the ratios that we have these collections changes. So if we have a lot of the new stuff and not a lot of the old stuff, you're going to say it's likely dated closer to the newer range, rather than if you have quite a lot of old stuff and maybe one or two of the new stuff, you're going to say, okay, that's very early in this when this new things were introduced into the culture. So that's what we use in terms of seriation, right? You can look at fashion, you can look at all sorts of things. It's a way to date things based on looking at what is popular and how that changes over time, and the amount of it changing over time. So that's how seriation works, basic archaeology. So there you go, the more you know. Stay tuned for more Bible history with me there.